Maybe you just bought a Meta Quest 3S for 300 bucks. Maybe you went for the full Quest 3 for 500 bucks, but you're finding the headset's not super comfortable. The battery doesn't last as long as you want. And luckily, there's already a solution for that problem because head straps from the Quest 3 work for the 3S and vice versa. If you're new to the channel, you may not know this, but if you've been here a while, I've tested probably hundreds of head straps by now. And my ultimate favorite at the moment for the Quest 3 is the BoboVR S3 Pro. This is not only a battery strap that's got a hot swappable battery, so you can switch out batteries as quick as you need to. The batteries actually charge fast enough that you can have one dead, swap a new one on, put this back on the charger, and you can literally have unlimited game time with the headset. The head strap also has some cool features. It's got a fan built into it. It's got a screen on the side that shows you exactly what percentage the battery's at, a dial that lets you adjust that fan from 0 to 100%. And the way that fan works is it pulls in air from the outside, blows it in around the mask. That helps prevent fogging in the headset. It helps keep you a little cooler, helps deal with a little bit of sweat dispersion. It's nothing like having a box fan in your space blowing on you, but a fan actually having air circulation can even help a little bit with motion sickness for people who deal with that. And on top of it, my favorite thing about these type of head straps, what people call them is halo straps. And the reason for that is they go up kind of like a halo and they hold onto your forehead here, they hold onto the back of your head, and this part that's usually shoved into your face and pulling in literally doesn't even have to contact your face if you don't want it to. So it basically has the headset just hovering out in front of your face, and then if you want to, for stability, you can pull it in nice and tight like an elite strap, but it doesn't have to be shoved into your face all the time. So straps like this that are considered halo straps, they put the weight up here and back here instead of right around your eyebrows and give you that VR face we're all familiar with. It's also got some top clips that help put a little bit of extra weight up here, but unlike the old edition, these ones are removable or even adjustable at what height you want them on. I do use them, I do leave them on, but some people who don't want them, they just rock the head strap completely without them at all. Also, the weight of the battery acts as a counterbalance. You know these headsets, they're pretty front heavy. Obviously all the weight, the battery, everything is in there. But when you put another weight on the back, you can end up with a much more balanced headset that does not want to just fall forward all the time. It's still not perfectly balanced. They could actually put a little bit heavier one in the back, but overall they didn't want to add way too much weight to your neck and the way you move around. So what ends up happening is it feels good, it keeps the weight off you, but it still for some people has a tendency to want to pull up a little bit back here. That can depend on what kind of hair you have, how long it is, if you have hair at all. They do include a stickier honeycomb padding automatically with the head strap, and you can swap out the padding in the back for that. Usually I do use the honeycomb myself on it, honestly, although these are two new ones because I just literally left two of mine at a convention to help somebody out who shows off VR to people. I gave them two of my old ones, and so these are two other ones now that I literally just unboxed like right as I got back from the trip. So this is also a multi-generational head strap. There was originally an M2 that came out for the Quest 2. They made adapters so you could even bring that headset strap forward to the Quest 3, and then they ended up making this S3 specifically for the Quest 3 because it had so much more power draw. It needed something with even faster charging. And with that, they're now up to 10,000 milliamp hour battery packs in the back. But the nice thing if you're here because you got the 3S is those big beefy batteries mean you're gonna get over 3.5 hours of playtime pretty much in any VR game you're in. I actually went with mixed reality, max brightness, ran the headset. 3 hours and 28 minutes was exactly how long one of these battery packs lasted. And that was mixed reality, which we know is the most draining way to play. But the cool thing was it also kept the headset charged the entire time. So if at the end of those 3 hours, I notice, oh, my battery dies, and it's pretty obvious because it gives you an audible warning, but also if you're running the fan dies and suddenly you feel the airflow stop, you could swap the batteries out and continue if you have the endurance to go 7 hours straight in VR and just keep on playing, and this headset would have stayed charged the entire time. I bring that up because not everyone knows that, but with some battery straps, what happens is yes, they extend the playtime of the headset, but the headset also slowly drains over the course of it. So it gets to a point where you not only have to charge your head strap, you also have to charge the headset because both of them are dead, and then you're completely out of VR. So to me, this is the most comfortable type of head strap there is for the Quest 3 or the Quest 3S. There is another type of strap that's pretty common, elite type straps. So those are ones that don't hold onto your forehead. They literally pull the mask straight into your face, comfy on the back of your head. Those ones are a little bit more stable for like people who are doing a lot of fitness games or really intense stunts in VR. So some people do find that they prefer those, but me personally, after all the head straps I've tried, this is my favorite style. It's what I can spend the most time in VR in, because recently we just got this 3S, and for the first round, I wanted to fully review it the way it was, the way it came. I rocked this thing with the stock head strap, and even in an hour and 50 minutes until the battery died in just the headset, I had a headache, my eyes were irritated. It brought me back to the old days when we just didn't really have a lot of head strap options, and I couldn't swap over to this one soon enough. It doesn't mean the head straps aren't without a few flaws. We already kind of covered how some people prefer the Elite style. It does have the cables that you're now dealing with. Luckily, they've added some things to the newer editions that help hold the cable out of the way, but I mean, you do have this cable here. If you're someone who wants to play on PC and you want to switch back and forth to a link cable, you've now got this thing you're unplugging and plugging in. The fan itself, if it gets above 50%, I think, it does get pretty audible. That's at 100%. So if you were to be sitting down watching a movie or something with the fan on 100%, you're gonna notice it. But if you're in like an active game, Beat Saber, Pistol Whip, I have this thing on 100, I don't ever notice it. Or if I was to sit back and do something like Xbox Game Pass or just watch a movie, you could turn the fan down to 30 if you even want the fan at that point. And one really weird thing I pointed out in the original review of this, these headsets, the 3S included, and of course the original 3, they vent the heat right out of the top here. And if you're up and moving around a normal VR game, you'll never notice that. But one thing I noticed in Demio, if I was sitting for a long time playing, each time I'd lean forward a little bit, all of a sudden I would notice the fan started blowing hot air because all that exhaust had kind of pooled right here. And then I just basically leaned the fan right into that heat and it pulled it in. So a few little things that can go wrong, but the biggest con is the price. Did launch a lot more expensive, but I will say there's sales now sometimes, and even right now as it stands, you can get the strap on Amazon, $80. So that's the head strap plus one battery, or they've got a bundle, like 150 gets you a second battery and the charging dock that fast charges it. So that way you could have unlimited battery even just with that one. But that's not a small amount of money, especially if you're someone who just bought a 3S at $300 and now you're looking at a $150 kit to make it comfortable and keep it running all the time. So it's a consideration to think about. One other thing, and if you're new to VR, you're gonna be like, what are you talking about? This sounds crazy. But if you've been around a while, this might make sense. One other advantage this head strap gives is some people actually like to use the headset with no facial interface at all, which does seem probably very weird to an onlooker from the outside, but it allows you to push the headset in even closer, which means you'll get more field of view because the lenses are closer to your eyes where you can see further into them. And it really helps with the venting. You don't get as much sweat pooling up, you don't get the fog. That fan is allowed to even push a little bit more air because there's nothing blocking the top of it. And only Halo straps can do that. Other Elite style straps, it won't work at all because they need to push on your face, and if you take the facial interface off, the lenses are literally gonna be pushing into your eyes. It's gonna be really uncomfortable. So ultimately, after reviewing and testing accessories for years now on Quests, this is my go-to right now, and as far as I know from Bobo, they're not planning on doing another edition or changing up anything anytime soon with these. They have made some docks for it to charge it up, they've made some docks for the additional batteries, some grips for the controllers, but as it stands right now, this seems to be the end-all be-all for head straps for a while, which is always a nice position to know if you're gonna get one, they're not gonna suddenly drop something better. And if you're someone who has a 3S and you're thinking, oh, well, later I'll upgrade to a 3, swappable. It's the exact same head strap. You can swap it right across, which is also a really nice perk. So if you decided you're interested in this, obviously you can check out our original S3 review if you want to hear some more details. I'll leave a link at the end here for that too. But if you do want to get one, I'll leave some links down in the description, the comments down below, one that'll lead to Bobo's website, or if you want to get it off Amazon. And if you still haven't gotten your 3 or your 3S, I'll leave some links to get those too. But ultimately right now, for me, the 3 is still the way to go. And with this package on it, it just makes it, to me, the ultimate wireless standalone experience because you're comfy, you don't have to worry about battery, it keeps you cool with the fan, and then of course with the 3, you get those better lenses, screens, and everything else. But what do you think out there? Do you currently have another head strap and you're here because you're trying to think about getting something different? Are you here because you just got a 3 and you're looking for something to make it comfortable and last? Either way, I highly recommend these, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. I wanna say thank you once again for being here with me, and I'll see you in another reality.